Yo de hecho lo quiero, igual y tú hazlo en gallery y yo lo voy a hacer en speaker. Yo quiero que se voltee uno al otro.
Okay, I'm doing it in gallery.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's very nice to meet with you today. And I was thinking one of the cool concepts I wanted to run through you. It's, when there's a lot of stuff happening right now. There always is. Just sometimes it seems to be more intense than others. Like right now, we're about to go into quarantine again. It's just about to be Christmas. Obviously, for a lot of people, including myself, that brings up a lot of emotions and thoughts about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the concept I want to enter a dialogue with you in is allowing, or when inevitably those thoughts or emotions come up to the surface because they were triggered by a conversation, they were triggered by the news, or they were triggered by, I don't know, they just come up. The difference between perpetuating them, perpetuating negativity, negative emotions, or acknowledging them, transmuting them, letting them go. So
Mm-hmm.
that is the two sides that I want to dialogue with you today. So when I just described the situation to you, what are your thoughts on the matter?
Well, I think we as humanity, as mankind, we haven't really been taught or guided to train the parts that are most important to us, like your mind, like your ability to feel emotions, your awareness. So because we haven't had those conversations ever, right? You and I went to school and we were taught history, math, anything but what's inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I think once you mention this type of topic, the first thing that jumps into my mind is we must learn, you, me, everyone at home must learn how to use the tools that we were never taught how to learn. In this case, I'm going to speak about your mind, your attention.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of that is so just focusing on the right conversation, and the right conversation is not what's going outside. It's really what's being triggered inside. So yes, a lot of people are actually facing a lot of anxiety and stress through the holidays, the new quarantine, and perpetuating. You mentioned two sides of the coin. One is perpetuating, so meaning you keep repeating the same thing over and over again, and you don't let it go, or acknowledging it and understanding. So this is a part we were never taught before. Acknowledging means to me saying, oh, I really feel uncomfortable about this. Oh, it really makes me feel sad, or whatever emotion is coming up. And as soon as you notice it, is to make the awareness, the understanding that I'm feeling this way because a thought I just had about I'm reacting to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's as soon as you acknowledge that, you can let it go.
Yes. Like you said, growing up, we grew up in the model of this is right and this is wrong. You are complaining or you're doing something about it. But those are strategies that are just in the surface. And I can tell you, I struggle personally with sharing my discomfort. I usually try to sort it out by myself because I feel like if I share it with you, or if I share it with even my best friend is a vegan activist, and we've conversed in dialogue with a lot of uncomfortable things, but my feelings, I try everything in my power to deal with them by myself before sharing those with her. With you, it's a different story, and that's why I love that we are recording this, because I get the chance to show a bit more to out there in the world the human side of me. So again, I think that if I share that with anybody else, there's a little part of me that's saying, you're complaining, you shouldn't think like that, you shouldn't say that, that's rude, and I worry too much about what others are going to think of me. But as I as I continue to understand this concept, I realized that there's a couple of pathways. Once those things start coming up, when I say perpetuating, it's as if I was complaining and keep repeating the same story over and over and over again. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can give myself permission to say the story once,
Yes.
and then move on to obtaining a learning out of it. So let's land this with a clear example. We had Christmas plans, right?
We did, yes.
And of course, in learning about the closure, the quarantine, I was uncomfortable at the beginning, having to make changes, having to imagine a different future where you and I were not going to be sitting together, sharing dinner at a table and opening presents, because I was so excited to do that. I needed some of that magic in my life. If I continued right now in this conversation to speak about how angry I was and how much has been taken away from me the whole year, including this, I am okay to say it once. Just, because even having you as a heart with ears, listening to me validates that this is real. I'm not trying to shove it down. I'm not trying to, because sometimes I think I am crazy for thinking this way. But having another human being validate that this is real and it's happening and it's important because it's inside of me. But once you listen to me once, I can let it go. Or I can choose to continue telling the same story, like on the next phone call. That's what I mean by perpetuating versus acknowledging.
I think you kind of nail it on the head when acknowledging is your emotions is just a guiding system. Mm-hmm. Emotions is just a guiding system. As soon as you feel any anger, desperation, anxiety, stress, whatever negative emotion is coming up, it's simply to remind you that you're not thinking about the right thing. You're not putting your attention in the right thing. So it's okay totally to say like, oh, this doesn't feel good. What doesn't feel good? Well, this time of year, I will be with my family. Today, I'm not. That's a grief. That makes me angry as well. Mm-hmm. That is acknowledging. Now, that is reacting to the outside. But what you can do is change the inside. What will make me feel good right now? Maybe I can call my sister and have a dialogue with her. Maybe I can call my mom and dad and say, I miss you and I love you. And shift your attention. So your superpower has always been your attention. So for me, acknowledging is correct. So don't avoid it, but just do it once. Acknowledging, that's what it means. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay, I'm going to move in a different direction. But most people have been taught to perpetuate. It's a competition of whose life sucks more. Right? Like we call each other to say, no, wait a minute. You think you have it bad? Let me tell you about my bad.
Right. So you feel less bad because I have it worse. You're all right.
Or you feel heard and understood, which is perpetuates more that, see, I was right to feel this way.
Yeah, validated, but to keep feeling that way. Right.
And what you and I are trying to do today, just to close the thought, is to simply say, acknowledge it to yourself and react in a different way with someone else. So break the habit of feeling negative emotions. You must tell a different story.
Yeah.
Acknowledge the one that feels bad because it's there, it's important to you. Mm-hmm. But then move on.
I want to add to that if you have done it with yourself, by yourself, and it's still not feeling better, to find someone that it's there for you, that can help you transmute that into a better perspective.
Yes.
Like I said, there is something magical about having another human being that understands you, listen to you. It validates it so that you can let it go faster. That's and the learnings part. The learnings means that, for example, what is the learning that I can extract out of this circumstance where I'm not going to be able to see my family? The learning that I obtained was that I missed last Christmas. And missing last Christmas with my family was a choice. So moving forward in the future, that is a choice that I'm going to make different. Mm-hmm. I promise myself I'm not going to miss a Christmas by choice ever again. So that is what I mean by obtaining a learning and creating a different future.
For me, my learning this time is whenever I feel sad, there's grief, stressed, confused, the learning is that, wait a minute, who's feeling it? I. Therefore, who can change the feeling? I. Has nothing to do with the outside. So the learning for me is, Rodrigo, acknowledge that this feeling, it doesn't feel good. This means, though, that I am paying attention to the wrong thing. And just as easily, I can start paying attention to the right thing. Like, I am blessed to be at home, safe, and with my wife.
Absolutely.
And that's a blessing.
You have a wonderful chapter on that on your book, right?
Right.
Yeah. Your book's called Sleight of Mind. What chapter is that you speak about? May I please have your attention? I think that's what it's called.
Have your attention. No, actually, I believe that your attention is your superpower. It's actually your life force. Think about it. When you have an attention, when you're putting attention to someone, you're taking everything you have, your breath, your heartbeat, your everything,
Yeah.
and you're focusing in one point on time and space.
Mm-hmm.
That is, you're taking the entire universe outside of you. You're taking the entire universe inside of you, and you're focusing all in one point on time and space. So, but the thing is that our attention is like a puppy dog, right?
Yeah, I remember reading
Dogs
that.
go and chew here, they pee over there, they're happy over here, like they're all over the place.
They chase the squirrel over there. Yeah.
They do everything but sit in one place. What I try to tell you in my book is actually principle of magic. It's a misdirection. It's building your attention muscle. And I talk about how we need to make our attention as strong as a lioness. When a lioness goes to hunt, she focuses on that prey. It could be hours. It could be like 5 hours before she makes an attack, but she never misplaces her attention. So imagine you and I placing our attention in what really matters to you, which is love, happiness, is feeling good, peace.
Yeah.
Then when news about something that you don't like come up, doesn't matter. You're a lioness. In your attention is where it needs to be, in happiness. Yeah. Then this thing that doesn't make you feel good just goes away.
Yes, absolutely. I can acknowledge it and say that's happening in the world. I'm not denying it. I'm not isolating myself from it. I am acknowledging, but I choose to put my attention on my workout, on the meal that I'm preparing, on the phone call that I'm making with you. Yeah. I also, my book. Yours just came out last year. Mine finally this year. I have my chapter is called, it's chapter 8, Human Problems, where I talk about this concept of judging thoughts and judging emotions and that self-knowledge that we've been programmed to deal with. I mean, programmed in the past that we grew up with. And I want to read a small sentence that I love. To label a thought as positive or negative is to imply that one should or shouldn't have it at the same time that one is experiencing that thought. You're already screwed. Might as well acknowledge it. It's already happening. So again, it's not good or bad. It's what are you going to do with that? Right?
How does that make you feel? Well, I do like to close this section to say to you and everyone that's listening and viewing that you do have the power to change your reality with your attention. And you just walked us through that little piece of information, that little piece of an aha moment. Mm-hmm. Your attention, your mind is always going to have thoughts. You just said it. Like,
yeah,
you don't have thoughts. And your superpower, there's two things. One, don't judge the thoughts, because understand, just like every day the sun comes out and goes and then goes away, mm-hmm. Your mind is always going to have thoughts. Like, that's why you have a mind.
Yeah.
Thoughts. So we should just stop judging them. Yeah, it's just a thought. Yeah. My mind is just active, because that's why you have a mind, to have thoughts. And how do you can change your thoughts through your attention. So which thoughts do you want to give validation to, perpetuation to?
Perpetuation. Mm-hmm.
So always go for the ones that make you feel good. So that's a little bit of what me, Rodrigo Diaz, international best-selling author, want to tell you, and Alejandra.
Alejandra Diaz Mercado, recently published author and award-winning author of Energy and Motion. We're gonna share the links down underneath in case you found something of great value to you in this conversation, and you can access our books that are on sale. That are
On Amazon.
Amazon worldwide. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being here with us.
Love, joy, and peace.
Adios.